Hi guys, it's Abby. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing progressed moon in Gemini and we're moving right along with the progressions. I don't know why I decided to do this backwards, and I think I started at Scorpio or something, so that was weird, but we're going backwards through the zodiac. So progressions, just to recap, are your natal chart sped up one day for every year you've been alive. So they represent your evolving self, and the progressed moon in specific is your evolving needs and feelings and relationships. I'm going to leave a link in the box below to a video that goes over progressions in general and a blog post on progressed moon in Gemini that will go into way more detail than this video. But this is a good place to start, so you can click those links if you want more information or if you need clarification on what progressions are and what the progressed moon specifically represents. But for now, just think of it as your progressed chart is how you are utilizing your natal potential today, and the experiences you're going through, the changes you're going through internally. And the progressed moon is your inner needs and your inner feelings and general emotional climate. And it takes about 2.5 years for your progressed moon to change signs. So if you're just going into this one, you'll know because you have to know your time of birth, but you can look it up on, I use astro.com. You can look it up on any website that gives you a natal chart and progress charts. But if you want to look up your progress chart specifically, generate your natal chart at astro.com, then go to extended chart selection and choose progress chart or natal chart with progressions, and it will tell you exactly where your progressed moon is. If yours is going from Taurus to Gemini, this is a huge shift because you're probably a little bit stuck in a rut now if you're at the end of your progressed Taurus moon. So you were going through a time of stabilization, which you needed, and you are probably in such a routine, like so steady right now, that this is coming at just the right time to shake you up. The Gemini energy is people love it or they hate it. And I'm in the camp of I like Geminis. I love them. If I don't get along with the Gemini, it's usually something else in their chart, like Libra, because I just don't get along with Libra very well. But yeah, or like Cancer, because I'm an Aries, so that's why I don't really drive with those two signs. But in any case, I do enjoy Gemini energy. I think it's light and it's fresh and it's funny and it's just, yeah, I love it. I dig it. It's mutable air. So what that means is air signs are social and they're intellectual, they're mental, and they're objective. So if you're going from progressed moon in Taurus to progressed moon in Gemini, your emotions are going to take a turn for the mentally focused. So you aren't going to be feeling your emotions or expressing your feelings so much as you're going to be trying to talk things out and to talk to a lot of people and learn. And you might read a lot. You might take a course during this time. You might start writing in general, write a book maybe, or just start writing a blog. And it's because words are going to be your way of experiencing your emotions and learning. You're going to turn to learning. You're going to turn to communicating. It's all the Gemini focus, and that's because Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury, which is the planet of communication. It's genderless, so it's not leaning towards the feminine or the masculine. It's gender neutral, and that's because it's a mentally oriented planet. So in the mind, there's really, when it comes to intellect, it's genderless. Of course, in my personal opinion, when you get into anything having to do with the mind, with the thought process, that has to do with ego, and that is masculine energy. But in traditional astrology, Mercury is gender neutral. So I would say this is a more masculine oriented progression though, because feminine energy feels the emotions and it puts it in the body. And in Taurus, your progressed moon in Taurus, you might have been more practical and pragmatic about things than, a water sign, for example, that will feel it out, but you still were more in your body. So for this progression, for whatever reason, usually something happens before your progressed moon changes signs that triggers you into the next phase. So you might have to be having some sort of emotional escape for now. Something may have occurred that you say, I can't deal with this anymore. Sometimes when your progressed moon is in Taurus, you can go through like obsessive things because it's it's a fixed sign, so it can get very fixated on something. Or you might have just experienced or tried or worked hard to deal with something, probably a relationship issue for so long that now you're just like, I need to get up and go. I need to just start exploring the world. And the curiosity is the number one thing that this progression is about, is curiosity, because Gemini is curiosity in astrological embodiment. This is a sign that it's like the ADD sign, right? Like attention is here, 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 like attention deficit. And it's also about the hands. So this is a time where you're going to want to be focused on many different things at once. It's a great multitasking sign. Like I said, it's great for writing, for learning, for reading. You're probably going to be doing all of those. It's also a great progression for doing stuff with your hands. So if you want to learn like a musical instrument or drawing or anything that has to do with the hands, it's a great time for that because Mercury and Gemini are all about the hands. So now's the time to explore. Something occurred in your progressed moon in Taurus at the end of that you just were like, enough is enough. And it's not that you are walking away from a situation necessarily, but you're becoming more flexible and adaptable and just going with the flow more. And that's what the mutable part of Gemini is. So mutable represents the end of a season. It's the wrapping up energy. So this is the end of spring, preparing for summer energy. And when you feel that mutable energy, that's when you are going to be like becoming just more go with the flow. And especially socially, intellectually, like you're just more here and there and everywhere, and you can multitask and toggle more. And that has to do with your relationships as well. So if you have anybody in your life that's too much of a stick in the mud, like they're not flexible, like they're very focused, very fixed, very stubborn, you're just going to be like, forget you. Like, I can't deal with this anymore. There's so much to see. There's so much to learn. There's so many people to talk to. There's so much to explore that you're just dragging me down. So you're going to kind of put those relationships to the side and they might just kind of fall away naturally. And you're going to be probably bringing more Gemini sun sign people into your life, because that's what happens when your progressed moon is in a certain sign. You end up attracting people who are that sign, or they have a lot of that sign in their chart. So it could be like a Cancer with a stellium in Gemini or something like that. But the Gemini energy is what you're going to be attracting to. So you'll see that in your new relationships, and you might have new friendships form. Gemini people in your surroundings and your work, just new friends that are Gemini. So they're just bringing that energy to your life, that curiosity, that love of socializing, and almost like Geminis can be a bit teasing, and people call them evil because they're the twin. They have like two-facedness about them, and I think it's fun, but I'm an Aries, so I get along with Gemini. Some people despise Geminis because of that, because they just call them pure evil, and they have a superficial energy because of that mutable air. They just dance on the surface of things without delving too deep. And that's really what you need to do emotionally right now. So you might as well embrace it and take this time to learn and explore and let your curiosity guide you, because that is what you need to do right now. You can focus your emotions onto writing. And that's a great thing for you to do. Even if you're not writing about your feelings, you can write like a book that will channel your feelings into it, like a fiction maybe, because your imagination is going right now. Or you can just sort of talk it out. This is a great time for talk therapy. You're going to be talking a mile a minute, but if you find the right therapist, like someone who, Gemini energy, who just feels like talking it out is all you need to do, venting, and then move on, then you can have a great rapport. But just be conscientious that during this time you might be a little bit more like jokey, like what's the energy I'm trying to describe here? So your friends and family see when you have a progressed moon change, any progressed sign change, but the progressed moon, they're going to sort of feel the energy difference in you. And it's not your concern what other people think about you at all by any means. I don't believe that. But how you're going to be coming across to the rest of the world is a little bit happier, definitely, a little bit flakier, okay? Perhaps a little bit crueler, and that's kind of the energy I'm trying to describe, because it's not that you mean to be cruel, you're not trying to be vindictive or anything. Geminis, I don't feel like they have like a meaning to be cruel at all. I feel like they just are taken that way because they're very jokey. They mimic people really well. They try to get people to laugh. They will cause havoc and then like move on quickly, and people are left to clean up the mess, and they're like, what's your problem? Like, why are you still focused on that? That was so 5 hours ago. So that's the type of energy you're going to be maybe going into. So just be conscientious that you can explore it all you want. This is the time to do so. But that if people take you like that, that's why, because their emotions might be running deeper than yours, and they might be in their more feminine energy where they're feeling things. And that's their cross to bear. But if you're doing that, this is what you're doing. Like, you're doing it. You can't be like the Teflon man. My mom is married to, my stepdad's a Gemini, and she calls him the Teflon man because she says that nothing sticks to him. Like it's not his responsibility if he like caused havoc and walked away. Like, oh, well, that's not my mess. Like, that's a very Gemini thing to do. And like, it is like, if you pull a trigger on a gun, I mean, this is like kind of heavy for Gemini, but like if you pull a trigger and then you hit something, the bullet hits something, like you can't be like, oh, well, that's not my fault. Like, I only pulled the trigger over here. Like, you did that. You have to take ownership for that. So you might be a little bit flaky during this period, but the thing to really focus on, like the positive energy, is just your curiosity, learning, exploring, talking to different people, making new friends, communicating, all of that stuff. So have fun, explore it, and that's it. That's all I have to say. So if you want a private reading, if you're going through progressed moon in Gemini and you want to know more about it specifically to your chart, as in what aspects it's making to your chart, or how it's going to affect you on a personal level, you can order a reading from me. I do private video readings, and you would just order a mini reading, and I would focus completely on your progressed moon and what you're going to be experiencing for the entire 2.5 years. If you want a full progressions reading on your entire progress chart and how it relates to your natal chart, I do that as well, and that's a special progress chart reading that I offer on my website. So I'll leave a link in the box below. And thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.